Mankind in its present state has been around for 250,000 years. Yet only a small fraction of that has been of any significance. So, what did we do for nearly 250,000 years? We huddled in caves around small fires, fearful of the things that we didn't understand. It was more than explaining why the sun came up. It was the mystery of enormous birds with heads of men and rocks that came to life. So we called them gods and demons. Begged them to spare us and prayed for salvation. In time, their numbers dwindled and ours rose. The world began to make more sense when there were fewer things to fear. Yet, the unexplained can never truly go away. If the universe demands the absurd and impossible, mankind must not go back to hiding in fear. No one else will protect us, and we must stand up for ourselves. While the rest of mankind dwells in the light, we must stand in the darkness to fight it, contain it, and shield it from the eyes of the public, so that others may live in a sane and normal world. We secure, we contain, we protect.
The SCP Foundation is a wiki.org website where people write their own anomalies to this strange universe. In the lore, the SCP Foundation is a top secret organization that specializes at the containment of SCPs, which are anomalies that don't follow the laws of physics as we know it. They will study anomalies to see what they can do and if they are a threat to the outside world. The SCP Foundation has sites all around the world, over the 200 mark. They get the money from the US government and probably some other governments out there, because it's a very high effort mission to capture all these anomalies. They need many workers and many types of workers. I will now list them off. Containment Specialist. A containment specialist's job is to report to any anomalies that are supposed to be captured and help with that, because they are professionals of it, of course. After that, they will help the other people to get their anomaly to a safe site nearby. Researcher. A researcher is a person that researches the anomalies to find out stuff about them. Security Officer. A security officer is like a guard. They will guard specific places when they're told to, and will help the others if a containment breach happens. They always come with a weapon and armor. Tactical Response Officers. Their job is to help everybody out or to a safe place in the facility if a containment breach happens. Field Agent. A field agent's job is to look for anomalies. They will mostly be undercover around populated areas. Mobile Task Force. The Mobile Task Force is not just one group, it's many groups, and all of these groups are specifically trained in high military situations to deal with specific anomalies. Every team is specifically trained to deal with different anomalies. Some can deal with all of them, some can deal with specific ones. Site Director. A site director is basically the manager and boss of that specific site they're on. They're also the highest level in the site. The O5 Council. The O5 Council is a group of 13 members that are basically the CEOs of the SCP Foundation. They control everything that happens. They are pretty much anomalous themselves. because 05-1, the creator of this whole operation, is basically over a few hundred years old. That means he has been born around the 1800s. Now, every person has a different clearance level. A clearance level is how much they are allowed to see and know about the place. People with level 0 clearance have no idea what the SCP Foundation is and has no idea what the anomalies are. They are basically just janitors. Somebody with a level 1 clearance are basically a level higher than a janitor. They still can be a janitor, but they're mostly office workers. They will work close to the anomalies but still wouldn't know anything about them or the idea of the SCP Foundation. Level 2 clearance. A level 2 clearance level is basically another step up. Now the person who has it can know about the anomalies and the idea of the SCP Foundation. They just can't interact with them. Level 3 clearance. Somebody with a level 3 clearance is a good working researcher, a security guard, or an MTF member. They mostly have this clearance. Now, they have the ability to interact with anomalies if needed to. Level 4 clearance. The level 4 clearance is basically given to the administrators of different facilities. Level 5 clearance. The level 5 clearance is only given to the O5 Council or people who are specifically picked by the O5 Council to have it. Now, you might be thinking, if there is super dangerous anomalies, they won't just give their own staff to test them. If you thought that, you'll be right. That is why they have something called a Class D personnel. A Class D is a person taken from death row to get used to test dangerous anomalies. There are also people who are ranked down from researcher or guard or MTF down to D class if they did something they're not supposed to. They do not have any clearance level and they don't even have any rights. They basically are just food for the dangerous anomalies. The SCP Foundation has a lot of anomalies, but because of this they need to know a way to know which one is which one is easier to contain and which one is hard to contain. And they do have a system like that. I will list them off. Safe. Now, when an anomaly gets a safe classification, it does not mean the item or anomaly doesn't pose a threat or danger. Euclid. A Euclid classification mostly means that the object in question is unpredictable and they don't have a fully understanding of the creature and how to contain it in a proper way. So containment breaches are likely. Keter. A Keter classification means the object in question is really dangerous most of the time and really hard to contain. They are the least understood and the hardest to capture. Safe, Euclid and Keter are the most known of them all, but there are some more that is not as well known. Let me list them off. Fulmial. A fulmial classification means that the object in question can be used to help them to capture more SCPs. Apollyon. Objects with the Apollyon classification means they cannot be contained in any way possible. These are usually world-ending anomalies. Archon. Archon classification means the object in question could theoretically be contained, but is best off left alone for some reason. Ticonderoga means that the object in question cannot be contained, but also doesn't need to be contained. Explained. This means that the anomaly in question is fully understood, neutralized. This means that the anomaly in question does not have its powers anymore or are dead. Decommissioned. This means that the Foundation has taken this specific anomaly in question's powers or killed them. Pending. This means the anomaly in question has not been given a classification yet. Uncontained anomalies are, as you can guess, anomalies that hasn't been contained. Now let's move on to the real world. In 2007, a picture of a stone-looking anomaly was sent on 4chan with a description. This monster or entity would later be known as SCP-173, the ever first anomaly introduced into this universe. This idea became really popular that around 2008 and 2009, the SCP Wiki started, where people started to write their own anomalies. This became a bit of a hit. Now there are up to 8,000 SCPs, and they are right now trying to get the first 9,000 SCP out there. So there will be more in the future. SCP-001. Now SCP-001 are actually many other SCPs that are designated that number. There are over 40 of them. The idea is that nobody is ever going to know which one is actually the real one. So you are allowed to pick which one you think is the real one. Or don't. I don't care. Because of humanity's silly nature, there is a section of the SCP Wiki called Joke. Now this is a list of joke SCPs. Joke SCPs are always named SCP with a number with a J at the end, the J standing for joke. These SCPs are not supposed to be taken in a literal sense. International SCP. This is where the writing project is spread out to other places in the world. They have their own wiki and own SCPs to write. As you can guess, if you are a very big organization, you're going to have some people who are going to be in your interest to look into. They could be anomalous groups or some groups that wants to take you down. The most known groups are the Chaos Insurgency, the Serpent's Hand, and the GOC. Now, there are many entities and stuff that can destroy the world in some way. We usually call these a letter and then a class afterwards, like an K-class end of the world scenario, you can say. There are very many of these, and I'm not going to list them all, but if you want to take a look, you can go to the wiki and see it for yourself. Because of SCP's very famous reputation of scary monsters, you can already guess there are many types of games about this universe. Let me give you a list of them. SCP Containment Breach is made by a person named Danish. It's been through many different versions since 2012. It stopped development in 2018. The game is about you playing as a Class D personnel trying to escape a containment breach. Pretty simple. SCP-087-B is a game made by the same person. If you have read the original SCP file of SCP-087, you will get the idea pretty well. SCP Unity. SCP Unity is a remake of SCP Containment Breach, but it has since been cancelled because of health issues and other reasons. SCP Secret Laboratory is a multiplayer SCP game based on SCP Containment Breach. It was made by the person named Hubert Moszka, who is from Poland. It was released in 2017 and is now being developed with an entire studio called Northwood Studios. They are still developing the game, and to be honest, it looks pretty good. You should try it. SCP-5K is a game about... I honestly don't know, but for what I understand, it's about playing as a guard or MTF member going in or stuck in a broken down or a completely dark facility. But for what it looks like, it looks pretty good. It's probably one of the best looking SCP games out there. There is also many short films on YouTube that you can see about SCP and stuff. You should check them out, especially the SCP-096 short film. In November 2021, an incident happened with a Russian person. I'll take a clip from Mr. Illustrated's videos to give you a better idea of this whole situation.
So around 2014-2015, Andre Duxon started a project called the Art SCP Project. It was a simple art book based on SCP materials. When Andrei contacted the Russian SCP Wiki branch, they provided him with advice and publicity, with some enthusiasts making displays for festivals and exhibitions. On the 14th of June 2015, it was made clear to Andrei that he had to stick to the terms of the Creative Commons license, in place on the SCP website. For those unaware, the SCP community follows a Creative Commons Attribution Share-alike 3.0 unported open license. This license allows anyone and everyone to use these works as they see fit, as long as the terms of the license are adhered to and remain unchanged. For the most part of it, it looked to be an interesting and inciting project. The wiki staff took great interest in his work, and he assured them that the opinions of the users mattered to him, and he wanted to cooperate with the senior staff. In the summer of 2017, a major film-making company approached Andrei and offered him the opportunity to make an SCP film. Andrei then discussed with Russian wiki staff the opportunity for them to write up a uniform canon that the script for the film could be based off. Andrei became the middleman between the wiki staff and the filmmakers. He went on to propose that he would keep half the monetary rewards while giving the other half to the writers who were coming up with the canon storyline. There was a bit of back and forth when it came to the licensing. The SCP Wiki writers wanted the content to be free on a legal basis so that it complies with the SCP licensing policy. The Wiki team believed the filmmakers would ultimately scrap the SCP idea because this would mean the film company would not be able to profit from the film. However, they heard nothing from either the filmmakers or Andrei. Things went quiet, and that was the last they heard of it until the summer of 2018. In the summer of 2018, a shop called Geek Funko had been blocked from selling SCP merchandise by a mystery trademark holder. The SCP Wiki were informed by Geek Funko, and the Wiki began investigating. It turns out that Andrei Duksin had registered a trademark with the Russian Federal Service for Intellectual Property in the summer of 2017, 1 year earlier, giving him the full ownership of everything with an SCP logo on it, in the Eurasian countries of Kazakhstan, Russia, Belarus, Armenia, and Kyrgyzstan. His defense was that he had put a lot of money into promoting the SCP universe and doesn't want to lose the opportunity to get his investments back. He registered the trademark to fight the competition and to stop them from making profits without his permission and his share. He did this behind the SCP Wiki's back in order to gain the copyright of the SCP brand so the filmmakers and he could sell the film and claim royalties without the SCP Wiki having a say in how the license is used. But worse still, this fucking guy is now extorting and blackmailing SCP content creators in the areas his trademark license has jurisdiction. He is stealing a percentage of their revenue and profits because he owns the copyright which he should not legally own.
The Russian did not win. Now, the SCP picture that you see here with the sculpture's model was actually not made by the person who made 173. The model was made by an artist named Izumutkato. I'm sorry. Izumikato. I can't spell that. You can just read it yourself. For what I can understand, he asked the people at the wiki to take down that picture because they didn't actually have the rights to use it, and they luckily obliged. So now you know. That's everything I have to say about the SCP Foundation. I hope I said everything right and didn't do any or too many mistakes. Yeah.
You didn't have to cut me off. Think I can never happen, that we were nothing. I don't even